Hello guys, today I want to talk about PHP classes and public and private methods with an example of a structure of a console command, artisan command, from a package, Laravel modules, well-known package by Nicholas Widdart, and I want to show this as an example how you can structure bigger class, PHP class or Laravel class, and what should be public or private. Of course, it depends on the scenario, but I think this file is quite a good example. So there's an artisan command, typical Laravel command, which has handle method. That handle method is public. You can actually view that almost as a controller in Laravel with index method, for example, or invoke method, or whatever one main method of that controller. In this case, it's just artisan command. Then it calls a few functions related to artisan commands themselves, so components, new line. This is not important for us. What is important, this check. So that artisan command allows you to check the languages either for a particular module as an argument or for all modules. So inside that artisan command has two public methods because those could be called from outside potentially. So this is what we have down below. Check all is a public function, and check for a particular module is also a public function. And actually check all has check called inside. But then if we dive deeper, check method calls functions like get directories, check missing files, and check missing keys. And if we scroll down, we have get directories as private already. Also private get lang files, and also private check missing files and check missing keys. That word private actually means that this method is needed only within that class and no one else should know about them or be able to call that function. It's an internal function of that class which is called by other public methods of that class. It is sometimes called a public API. So whatever PHP class you create, you release some of that stuff for public, for yourself or other developers in the future, and then internally you may have more private methods within that class for more logic. So in this way, if you think about controllers in Laravel, that also applies. Quite often I see developers creating private functions in the controllers which are not related to any route or anything, but they are more like helper functions called from the main public methods of the controller. Of course, you can put those methods elsewhere in some kind of service or repository or whatever, but quite often you want to keep the logic within the same class because it's kind of one piece that you want to manage within that class. So artisan command is probably a better example of that, but I wanted to show you that with context of any PHP or Laravel class. And this is exactly what I talked about in my course, in recent course, PHP for Laravel developers. Half of that course is about object-oriented programming, and one of the topics is about visibility, public, private, protected, and more OOP fundamentals are discussed because I feel that many Laravel developers dive into Laravel straight with creating projects without really understanding some of the fundamentals. So I will link that course in the description below. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.